Hello, my name's Chipper Kriebel, and I am currently on I'm on internship through Longwood University at VCU working with their baseball team. I'm here to talk about and or persuade you to possibly go to VCU for your internship opportunities. So, to start this off, I want to talk about the staff at VCU. You have the head athletic trainer, which is at the top, and that is Eddie. He works with the men's basketball team. And then below, from left to right, you have the assistant athletic trainers. So on the left, you have Jeff. He primarily works with women's field hockey. And then next to him, you have Hannah. She works with women's basketball. Then there's Mike. He works with women's lacrosse. Jay, who is next to Mike to the right, works with men's and women's track and field. Ray works with women's soccer as well as tennis, and when women's soccer isn't in season. Jason, who works with VCU baseball, and that was my supervisor during my internship. And James, who works with men's soccer while also working with tennis as well with Ray. So every single day, I would get into my internship at 10 a.m., and usually I would leave at about 6 to 7 p.m. At this point, I'm going to list how my day went for y'all. So every day I'd walk in, and the picture to the top left is what I would see every time I walked in. I saw, "Let's go VCU." So, it was just great walking in every single day and seeing that it was pretty clean. It was nice to see that. It was pretty motivating every single day. To the right of that, which I didn't have listed or a picture of, was the office area. It was a small room with 2 desks where Jason and Jay that was their own office area, because this facility is only used for baseball and men's and women's track and field. So to the right of the top picture, or I guess top right, that's the picture, that's what you see when you walk in and you turn right. You see a computer, which is, not while I was here, was able to be used, but hopefully by the time, if you come here, you'll see that they have a fingerprint scanner, and athletes are going to be able to scan and be able to see their exercises that they're supposed to be doing for the day. And that's so that they can bill insurance for the exercises or not the exercises, but if there's any modalities, anything like that being used, they can bill insurance. Next to that, they have a fueling station, which is usually has snacks for athletes. And then next to that, you have a countertop, which is where they store any supplies that they need, like Band-Aids, gauze, all of that. And then a fridge. And then you see in the bottom left, the equipment that is housed in this facility. So that's everything we used for rehab. We had a squat rack, bikes, dumbbell rack, everything. And then the picture in the bottom right is the whole room. So we had another pressurized resistance machine, which you can barely see in the image to the left. And then you had 3 tables, or with a plyo wall, game ready modalities. They had cupping, electrical stimulation, ultrasound, portable E-stim units like Compax and Mark Pro. Normatec is underneath the tables, which is an intermittent compression machine. Also, to the left, there's a hydroculator for hot packs. And depending on who's in there and at what time, there's a TV just in case, like if it's a afternoon, nobody's in there, and if it's baseball in there, we'll have the TV on sometimes just so people who are doing rehab can have something interesting to watch. There's also a sound system, so we play some pretty decent music throughout the day as well. So, like I said, my internship would start at 10. We would have rehab from 10 to about 11:30, and then from there we would transfer over to one of 2 facilities. We would have either FSG, which is the Franklin Street Gym, and that's where we have our batting cages set up, and that's all. And pitchers can use the gym to throw, and we use that primarily during the early winter because when it's too cold outside, we can't make it out to play on the field. So I didn't have any pictures of FSG listed, but it's just a batting cage facility with a gym that basketball used to have where the pitchers can throw and keep their arms in relatively baseball shape. So when it was warm enough and we could start practicing out on the field, we would play at the Diamond. This is where our games were and practices every single day. Practices usually lasted from about 2 o'clock to 5, depending on the day. They would do early work at about 1 o'clock, and that's when players would come, and like the hitters would do bunting practice and all of that and get their work in before practice actually started. During this time, Jason and I would set up for practice, so we would set up a 10-gallon and the dugout to the left, as well as we'd set a 5-gallon out in the bullpen for the pitchers. After practice, players would go to lift. So for us, there was a lift every single day because pitchers were in groups, so pitchers would have a lift every single day, and position players would have a lift twice a week. And that would usually be at either 5 or 5:45 and last an hour. From there, we would do post-treatments back at Bow Street, and after that, my day would be done. Being at the Diamond, it was awesome. It's a great experience, a great field. I didn't have any pictures of the athletic training facilities, but we were in the away locker room, so the way the away locker room usually works at these facilities, especially for minor league facilities, because the Diamond is a minor league stadium, the away locker room is small, and the athletic training facility is it's like a closet, pretty much. In ours, we had a tiny wet room with a tub, a training table, and some cabinets to be able to store stuff. Other than that, there wasn't really much to it. We would either do rehab in the tunnel outside or rehab on the field. We usually tried to get everybody in for big rehab at Bow Street in the mornings. But playing our games here, everything, it was so nice. Like, the Diamond's such a nice field. Like I said, great facilities. It cannot be better. Like, I felt like it was awesome, and the games were exciting. VCU is a really good baseball team. If you don't know a lot about baseball, or maybe just VCU baseball in general, VCU is a really good baseball team. Currently, while I've been there, we've beaten number 18, which I think right now they're ranked number 8, East Carolina University, and we also beat UVA while we were here. So I mean, very very good baseball team. Now, from here, I'm going to talk about my experience. So with the staff, it was awesome. VCU staff is incredible. Just from the head athletic trainer on to all the assistants, everybody was awesome to work with. Like, since I was in Bow Street, I didn't get to work with most of the staff a lot because they have multiple facilities. They have the basketball development center, which is where the head athletic trainer, Eddie, and Hannah would spend most of their time. And then there was sports medicine, which was where most of the assistants were. And then Jason and Jay and I were over in Bow Street, which was right across the street from sports med. But from my experience getting to eat lunch with the staff, talk with them, go to meetings, they're awesome. They're great people. They care about you, and they're all about your development continually. If you get to work with them, they ask you what you learned that day working with them. And they're all about you getting your experience. And I cannot say enough good things about them, especially working with Jason. Like, I just cannot say enough good things about this staff. They're all really nice and caring. Modalities wise, you see some different things than you see at Longwood. I know Longwood has a lot of modalities, and VCU has similar ones. They also have a machine called Hivamat, which is to stimulate the lymphatic return. It's supposed to it's supposed to stimulate the lymphatic system to help reduce swelling in areas. They also have, Normatec, which is the intermittent compression, which is what I mentioned earlier, as well as, portable stem units, which is what they use. They love those, so they use Mark Pro and Compacts a lot. They also, while I was there, bought a Class 4 laser, which was awesome to use. It's a little bit different than Longwood's. It's a little bit stronger. You have to move the laser during the treatment, but it's a faster overall treatment. And then they had similar things that you have at Longwood, like cupping, game ready, all of that stuff. The experience also was good for my career development. Every day early on, Jason and I would look at my resume and my cover letter, and we worked on sending out my resume to graduate assistantships to try and find me a position somewhere, because I started late in the game. I started in the spring, which is, you really want to try and start in the fall. So every single day I would come in and I would have to apply to 3 places, or I would have to send out an email to a head athletic trainer somewhere asking if they had a graduate assistantship opening up that coming semester. And I can speak volumes for how that has helped me so much in my career so far. With, like, Jason pushed me every single day to try and find my next step, and it just helped me so much in my career development. And he really helped open my eyes, not only with, like, my career, but, like, with rehab, everything. Like, he really preached minimum effective dose, which is where you try to find the minimum effective dose to help somebody on your team. And that means that whatever is the minimum to help make them feel good, that's what you should be doing with them all the time. Because, if you're doing 10 different exercises with each person plus massage, you're not going to have time to get to all of your athletes. So if you can find, like, oh, okay, well, these 2 exercises and trigger point works with this guy, whereas, maybe 3 exercises works with him and he needs a little bit of a massage, it really helps speed along the process, and it helps you get to all of your athletes, and it helps you get the good care to everybody. And that stems into my overall experience. My overall experience at VCU was great. It helped me. I found a graduate assistantship in the spring while I was there, and that's really hard to do because, you really want to get started in the fall semester. So, that helped so much just with that. And then with the minimum effective dose, everything rehab, like, I worked a lot with FMS, SFMA, and it really showed me, like, what I need to learn later on down the road with my career. And I this experience was perfect, and, like, the staff, it's perfect for your networking because they've all been to so many different places, whether it's Pennsylvania with Mike, or Eddie's been at Michigan and Missouri. And Jason's been to Akron as well as NC State. They've all been around, and they have experience in a lot of places. Like Ray's went to school in California. They all have connections in so many different places, and this overall experience has been wonderful, and I feel like it's helped my career so much. So, for future students, is this a good place for an internship? Yes. More students should be going here because they want students. Every single one of them wants a student. And if Longwood could do it, they would. Like, I feel like students should be coming here for internship. Like, they care so much about you and your future that it would be wrong to not go here. They're so dedicated to you and your future and making sure that you can be the best athletic trainer possible. They're at first, like, at first they'll have you motivated to pass the BOC, and then after the BOC, it's moving on into trying to be an athletic trainer with your own team. I hope this PowerPoint helps you consider going to VCU. I wish you luck with whatever internship you decide to go with, and yeah, that's really it. Thank you for listening if you stayed around this long.